I'm Jordan. Welcome to my art studio. I have an art demo for you today. I want to show you how to make one of these woven paintings. So this is actually two separate paintings that I cut up and put together and made this single composition. These are really fun to make because you have no idea how it's going to turn out in the end, and I love anything that's a surprise like that. I just think it's really fun. So I'm going to show you how to make one of these yourself. This is a super quick and easy project, so it's a great warm-up activity or just an easy project to do in an afternoon. You also don't need that many supplies, so I have all of my acrylic paint set out here next to me, but feel free to use whatever materials you want. You definitely don't have to use paint. You just need something to make marks on paper. And as for paper, I'm actually using construction paper. I have a stack over here. This works really well for this project, surprisingly, because the construction paper isn't too stiff. So it's nice and easy to cut up and weave together to make this painting. So I'm going to be using construction paper, but once again, use whatever you want, whatever you have on hand. So let's just get started. I'm going to grab a piece of paper and just start painting. I like to start by just getting a nice layer of color down, and I'm just using this kind of cream color that I've mixed. Okay, I have covered the whole page. Now I'm gonna grab a smaller brush, and I am actually just going to do a quick little flower drawing. I always do flowers, it's my go-to, it's fun, it's easy, and I think flowers turn out really well with this project specifically because they make interesting patterns whenever you cut them up and put them together. So let's see, I'm just gonna do something very loose. I think I'll start with this pink color. If you're interested in learning more about how I use acrylic paint or just some of my tips for acrylic paint, I made a video a couple weeks ago called Acrylic Painting for Beginners, and I give all of my advice and talk all about how I mix my colors, my favorite mediums, my favorite brands of paint, and just everything you need to know to get started or that I have found helpful as I have been learning how to use acrylic paint. So go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Okay, I finished this. I just very quickly slapped some paint down and didn't worry too much about making perfect flowers. I'm going to set this aside to dry, and I'm going to do one more painting. So what I like to do for these woven paintings is do one design that's a little bit more intricate, like the flowers that I just did, and then do on another piece of paper just a wash of color. I think that it pairs well when we cut it up to have something more intricate and then just the color. When it's woven together, you'll see what I mean. You can really do whatever you want, but that is kind of what I have in mind right now. So I'm going to think about what color or colors would look good with the flowers that I just did. I feel like because this is kind of lighter, I need something to contrast the light tones, so maybe I need a dark color. Okay, I've covered this piece of paper, but I think I'm going to go back in on my flower painting real quick. I want to add a little bit to the background just so it's not all this cream color. I think that I will use this pale lavender and add some of this in the background. This project is especially fun because there's really no way you can mess this up. Even if you hate the painting itself, you never know if you'll like it once you cut it up and weave it together with another painting. Also, if you have old artwork that you don't really like and maybe you were considering throwing away, this could be a great idea to give it a new life if you chop it up and combine it with another painting. You could make something really interesting from a painting that you didn't really like. Last thing I'm going to do is just add a little bit of this black color to a few spots. I know I have it in a few spots already, but I'm going to do a little bit more just so it ties in with this solid color painting that I did. I'm also gonna change up this a little bit and add some blue instead. Cool, okay. I am gonna leave this, it's messy, it's loose, but this will be perfect. So I'm gonna let these dry, and then I'm just gonna quickly clean everything up to clear off my workspace, and then I'll show you how we weave the paintings together. I talked about these paint cups in my acrylics video, but I love them so much because cleanup is so easy. All I have to do is put the lids on these, and then I am good to go. So I'm going to let those paintings dry, but in the meantime, I actually have a stack of paintings that I did earlier that are ready to go, so I can go ahead and show you how to weave these together. You'll need a pair of scissors, a pencil, and a ruler, and then of course your paintings. I'll go through all of these real quick to show you what they look like. So first I have this flower design, and then I'm gonna pair it with this green. So this is what I meant earlier when I said I like to do one page that's kind of a design and then one solid color. So I have these two. I have more flowers potentially to pair with this blue. Once again, I have another flower painting, and then maybe pair it with this. And then I did some abstract designs. So I have these two to go together, and then these two. I think we'll start with these two paintings, so let me show you how you do this. So just pick one painting, it doesn't matter which one, and fold it in half. Then we need to measure and mark where we're going to cut. So my paper was 9 by 12 inches. So I am just going to make a mark every inch. And then I'm going to draw these lines. Okay, I finished drawing all these lines, and now the side that opens, that is not folded, you're going to measure about an inch from that edge. And then draw a line. Okay, now your paper should look like this, and we're going to cut all of these lines up until this point. So you want to leave this 1 inch buffer up here. This is the folded edge. Now you should be left with something that looks like this, and when we open it up, the painting should still be intact, but you have all of these cuts. Now we're going to take the other painting, and we're going to cut this into vertical strips that will then be woven into this painting. So this one we cut horizontally. This one we're going to be cutting up and down, and we're going to cut this completely into strips. It'll make more sense if I just do it and show you. So let's flip it over. And then once again, I'm going to make marks every 1 inch. I'm doing this at the top and the bottom of the paper. And then we're going to connect those marks to draw a line. Now your paper should be divided into all of these segments, and we're just going to cut these out. Now we have all these strips. I'm just going to flip them over. So our painting is all chopped up. Now it's time to weave this together. So this is actually pretty simple. Take one of the strips and just start weaving it through the painting that we already cut up. Make sure it's going over and then under and over and under. And then push it all the way to the edge. Now take another strip. And this one, since we started this one over the painting, this one will need to start under. So you're just doing the opposite of the previous strip of paper. And it should look something like this. And then you just continue that pattern. So the third one, I'm gonna go over and then under. So when you're finished, this is what it should look like. Now I do have a little extra room right here, if you can see, but it's not quite big enough to fit one more strip. For this one that I showed you, the last one, I did end up cutting the strip in half to fit it through that last little section, which you can do. But actually for this one, I think I'm just gonna leave it as is. So we need to secure the paper so it all stays together. And I'm just gonna use some PVA glue to do this. So all you have to do is add a tiny dot of glue just at the top and the bottom, obviously, but just adding a little bit of glue like that will keep it nice and secure. And then I'll flip it over and add some glue to the strips on the back as well. I am going to trim off some of these edges here. And here is the end result. I think this one turned out really nice. I love the contrast between the lighter colors in this background painting and then these dark strips. It just makes a cool checkerboard pattern. And I like that it kind of abstracts what the original image was. So like I said, this is super quick and easy. I'm gonna do one more just so I can show you the process again to make sure you know how to do it. So maybe we will try these two paintings together. I'm gonna start with this one as the background. So once again, fold this in half. I'm gonna measure 1 inch increments. You could also play around with doing different sizes. I have been doing 1 inch just because it's nice and easy, but feel free to do whatever you want. I'm going to draw my lines. And then make sure you add this buffer to the edge that is open. And last time I did 1 inch, but I think I might actually do a little bit less just so I can fit that last strip. That way I don't have to trim it and it can be the same size as all the rest. So now we're gonna cut. Then you should have something that looks like this when you open it up. And now let's trim this other piece of paper. I'm going to start with the 1 inch marks and then draw the lines. And then I'm going to cut all these strips out. And now it's time to put these together. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the first one and just start weaving it through. And then when I add this next strip, I'm just going to make sure to go the opposite way as the first one. So this will start under and then go over. And here's the next woven painting. I think this one turned out really nice. I love these colors together, like this lavender with the green, I think looks really pretty. These paintings are dry now, so let's cut them up and weave them together and see how this looks. I'm going to do the same technique that I just showed you how to do with the other paintings. And here it is finished. I haven't glued down the edges yet or trimmed it, but I really like how this one looks. And this is why I was saying keeping your painting loose and messy and not too precise, I think makes it look better. It makes just a more interesting pattern in my opinion. Now I'm gonna go through and cut up the rest of these paintings and weave them together, and then I will show you the final result. So these two paintings turned into this. These ones turned into this. And these two turned into this. So that's going to be it for this video. Just a quick and easy art demo, but I hope that this was inspiring for you. I feel like there's so many ways that you could really change this up to make it your own, whether you use different materials or different paper or make it in different sizes. There's just so many ways that you can make different variations. So I would love to see what you come up with. I've been thinking I want to try this out on a giant piece of paper and make like a huge woven painting. I think that could be really cool. So I might try that out soon. If you do make your own version and you post it on Instagram, please tag me so that I can go check it out. I would love to see how yours turns out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in my next one.